Ford and Red Bull have crossed paths again. 22 years after pulling the plug on Jaguar and handing the keys to a certain Dietrich Mateschitz, and their Formula One partnership in 2026 makes sense for both parties. In this video, we'll take a look at how Ford's F1 return with Red Bull will operate. Ford has revealed details about their collaboration with Red Bull for the 2026 power unit rules, as well as how the alliance would function. Ford's return to Formula One was quickly followed by confirmation that they will forge a technical relationship with Red Bull for the anticipated power unit regulatory revisions in 2026. Red Bull Ford Powertrains will power both Red Bull Racing and AlphaTauri starting in the 2026 season. And Global Director of Ford Performance Motorsports, Mark Rushbrook, elaborated on the intricacies of their relationship following the announcement. With Honda earlier threatening to withdraw from Formula One entirely, Red Bull chose to establish a powertrain section and begin work on establishing their own facilities, which Rushbrook indicated will be used by Ford. There's a wonderful foundation with a Red Bull campus in Milton Keynes, and there were already plans underway to construct a facility for powertrains there, with the dynos and to house the crew and to build the power units, Rushbrook told RacingNews365.com. That is still the intention for the power unit program, and it's crucial to be immersed there with a racing crew and racing cars so that you can optimize the complete package as it goes onto the track. With Formula One moving toward a greater reliance on recovery systems for the next generation of power units, which Ford conceded was part of the appeal to rejoin F1, the battery and motor systems linked with power units will become more important. Ford will not manufacture its own engine, but will instead contribute resources and know-how to Red Bull's development of a next-generation F1 power unit for 2026. Power unit restrictions are now locked, but a new set of standards will be implemented in 2026, necessitating a new engine specification. This will contain a more powerful electric motor, as well as the capacity to use environmentally friendly gasoline. Rushbrook repeated the Blue Oval's goals of driving the electrification of Red Bull's power units, but also hoped that American manufacturers might benefit from Red Bull's aerodynamic expertise as part of a two-way partnership. Everything from Ford is on the table in terms of resources to contribute to this, where it will add value and benefit, he continued. The initial areas where we're working have undoubtedly been identified as battery cell technology, the electric motor itself, the controls software, both in the fundamental software and the calibration of that, to optimize the performance analytics within the power unit itself, but also across the entire car. We also hope to learn more about aerodynamics and apply it to our road cars, including some of the methods and tools that they have. The Ford Performance Motorsports CEO acknowledged that personnel will be transferred to Milton Keynes to help create a smooth collaboration when detailing the scope of the agreement. In terms of personnel, there will undoubtedly be Ford Performance staffers on the Red Bull squad, Rushbrook added. We currently have a worldwide team that works on our global motorsports programs, with individuals in the United States and the United Kingdom and Europe, and that team is growing and will be a part of this program as well. We obviously anticipate having full-time personnel in Milton Keynes, but not at this moment. We're still figuring out who, when, and how, but there are obviously some solid areas where we're willing to collaborate. Red Bull's engine division was formed in the aftermath of Honda's exit from Formula One, initially to take over the maintenance and preparation of the Honda F1 engines, which are now backed by Honda, and subsequently to build the next-generation power unit, which will be utilized beginning in 2026. Red Bull has been looking for a partner that can give technical competence while allowing Red Bull to retain control of its power unit for some time. The latter was a source of contention with Porsche, according to rumors that the carmaker desired greater control than the team was ready to give up. Honda is unlikely to have allowed its power unit to bear the label of another automobile manufacturer. It has already agreed with Red Bull to support the current engine through the end of the 2025 season. Ford's technical cooperation with the team begins in 2026, after the Honda unit is decommissioned. Thus, there will be no crossover. For the time being, the Red Bull car still bears the Honda branding. The agreement with Ford ensures that the Red Bull Powertrains will stay independent, following the model that has earned the manufacturer success over the years. The collaboration will last until at least 2030. If the deal falls through, Ford will simply walk away, leaving Red Bull with a complete ownership of the technology. While Ford's domestic sales stopped in 2022, owing in part to an electronic chip scarcity that hindered the entire industry, its EV sales more than doubled, propelling it to second place in the US after Tesla. The all-electric Mustang Mach-E and an electric version of its famed F-150 pickup truck, the F-150 Lightning, are among the new vehicles. Ford was seeking methods to expand its global influence, and Formula One's recent growth made it an appealing option. As a result, the 2026 Power Unit Rules Reset provided a once-in-a-generation opportunity for a manufacturer to enter F1 on its own terms and on a relatively level playing field. Given that all marques will need to develop a new power unit and the head start for existing manufacturers will not be this small again for an entire cycle. 6 manufacturers have registered to supply a new power unit starting in 2026, including New Boys, Audi and Red Bull, Ford and Red Bull's old partner, Honda, which re-entered F1 faster than it could pull out. It began about 2 years ago, when we began to see and understand what the future of the sport was, what the commitment, the technological changes, the commitment to sustainable fuels, net carbon zero, and the change in technical regulations to make electrification an even bigger component of the hybrid power unit were. That piqued our interest since we knew we could contribute something technically to a program while also continuing to develop in those areas. And at the same time, we realized how the sport's popularity, rising worldwide viewership, and diversity of that fan base would provide us with a platform to tell our message. As we saw things really come together and continuing to expand, we started thinking, okay, maybe this is the ideal time to get back into Formula One. It is evident that Ford was waiting for the substantial 2026 regulation change to be verified before proceeding to the next step, since it would not have entered without them. No, I don't believe so. It would have been a step back for us if it had been a carryover power unit without this opportunity. Ford discussed options with present and prospective teams and from the start ruled out a full takeover, such as the failed Jaguar program, which forced Ford to abandon its F1 tools. It felt like none of them seemed right until Red Bull arrived. With Red Bull, it was very quickly clear that what they were looking for in a partner was something we could deliver, and what we were looking for in a partner was something they could bring, Rushbrook noted. While that began in the second half of 2022, it moved extremely rapidly in the sense that we thought it was the correct relationship from the outset. The failure of Red Bull's Porsche talks probably accelerated conversations, since in Ford, Red Bull discovered a technical and commercial partner that could contribute to its own Red Bull Powertrains business in Milton Keynes, without seeking equity or placing its own mark on the entire operation. Given Ford's global EV ambitions, the engine regulation turnaround in F1 couldn't have come at a better time. Time will tell whether Red Bull reaps the benefits. Despite having a combustion engine at their heart, hybrid systems in Formula One cars allow manufacturers to market their electric credentials. According to Bill Ford, the company's executive chair, the move is motivated by marketing opportunities as well as the opportunity to improve technology in F1. This is the beginning of an exciting new chapter in Ford's motorsports journey, which began when my great-grandfather won a race that helped build our firm, he said. Ford is bringing Ford's rich legacy of innovation, sustainability, and electrification to one of the world's most visible stages. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We will see you with another interesting video.